What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So in this video, we're going to talk about what it's really like to run a business versus what you see online. Obviously, what you see online is not real. People post their highlight reels and you see the high income, the outrageous sales. You see the journaling, the matcha, the Pilates. You see freedom. You see a laptop in a coffee shop or working on the beach or working on vacation anywhere in the world, and you don't really see the hard work someone has put into behind the business. So I want to discuss that today based off of my own personal experience, because I did open a business of my own last year. So I am a business owner and I can talk about these things because I have been through every single one. Okay. A lot of people quit too early because they see all the success online and they're not getting the success. They think maybe I don't have what it takes, or maybe my business was not a good idea after all. Actually, this seems pretty dumb now that I think about it. Like they just have so many different thoughts and self-doubt that creep in just because they see all the successful people online, especially TikTok is so bad for it. And to be honest, a lot of these people are lying. If your business is that amazing, you usually don't have all day to make TikToks and whatever, make a million social media posts. A lot of times these people are not real. Well, they're real. Some of them could be AI, but their business is not legit. It's usually like some sketchy business that they're trying to sell you, or they want you to buy their course because they can also make you a millionaire. So, anyways, a lot of this content is just bad, especially for people who are starting their own business or have their own business, because obviously you compare yourself to them and you just feel like you don't line up. So, let me just make this very clear. Owning your own business is freedom. You can have freedom to do whatever you want. And usually, once you hit past the initial growth and go to steady growth, you can have enough income in your business to hire a team and deal with a lot of the nonsense and day-to-day stuff that you probably don't have time or want to deal with anymore. And it can really take the weight off of you. And once you're at that point and you are just the owner and you have people to help you run the business, that's really where the freedom comes in. Okay, that's when you can really do Pilates, drink matcha, go to the beach, go on vacation, and do whatever you want because you're going to have someone running the business behind the scenes. But when you first start a business and you are trying to get it up off the ground and you're in your initial growth, this is absolutely not going to be the case, okay? You're going to be working way more than your 9 to 5. You're going to be working around the clock. You're going to be working while you're making dinner. You're going to be staying up later to get a few more things done. Your showers are going to be shorter. You're going to be able to watch less TV, less YouTube, less series. All of those things are going to just start to really slow down because obviously you have to sacrifice your time. That's the only thing that's going to make businesses successful. And a lot of people don't have a lot of um, investors or investment money to put into advertising. So obviously doing the advertising is good, but they're gonna have to be doing the back end. They're not just gonna pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now they don't have to do any work of advertising. No. People usually do a combination of a lot of different things, but it's usually running off of like one or two people depending on who you started your business with. And this brings me to the next point. You're going to have to learn about things that you didn't even know existed. Okay. You're going to have to learn marketing. You're going to have to learn advertising. You're going to have to learn SEO. You're going to have to learn accounting, bookkeeping, taxes. Obviously, tax write-offs is a major thing. When you have your own business and filing your own taxes correctly, you don't want to be caught in a mess, which obviously it can be messy if you are not recording everything and having good bookkeeping for your business and keeping your expenses, your personal expenses, separate from your business expenses, it can all get really messy. So, you're gonna have to learn things that is not in your specialty. And usually, say if you're like a creative person and you're making art or something like that, usually you're not gonna be that good at bookkeeping. You're kind of good at one thing, but the other thing is like the end of the spectrum, okay? Like marketing, I had to learn marketing, advertising. That was never my thing, and I've never really been into marketing, but I actually hated it. But obviously, once I opened my own business, it's something that I had to learn. So you're gonna have to learn things that you really don't enjoy and don't even feel like doing, but you have to do it anyways to make your business successful. And eventually, you can have someone do these things for you once your business gets to that point, but it's not going to be the freedom that you think it's going to be in the beginning. Obviously, that's something that you have to work up to. And clearly, it's worth working up to because if you kept your 9 to 5 job, the more you climb the ladder, the more stressful it's going to be, unless you get to the very, very, very top, which more than likely you're not going to get to the top because the people at the very top are usually there because of the connections they have and maybe their family. And really, half the time, they're not even there based off of skill. Okay. So you're going to be working your butt off your entire life and you're never going to get to that freedom. If you have your own business, you're going to be working your butt off even harder, but in a few years, you're going to get to the freedom that you want. You will get to the place where you want to be, the place that you see on social media. Okay. Everyone wants to be able to just check their emails for, 5 minutes and go on about their day. Usually, that's not how it's going to go, depending on what type of business you run. I mean, if you open a drop ship company, they do a lot of the hard work for you and you really don't have to do much. But then again, like dropship companies are so popular, you're gonna have to really learn advertising. And a lot of people put out content to get sales. So obviously you're still gonna be working somehow. People think or they don't consider content is like a part of their business or job, but it absolutely is, and it takes a lot of time too. So you're gonna have to factor that in with your regular business. So obviously you have no boss, no manager, no supervisor. That is you. So if there's any problem, you have no one to run to, tell the problem to, and they come up with a solution. No, you have to come up with a solution on your own. And this can be challenging because obviously your business is so personal to you. You've put everything into your business, and there's going to be a customer that you run into in your life that no matter what you do, you cannot make them happy. So you can bend over backwards. You can try to give them free services, free merchandise, whatever it is. And there's some people that you're just not going to make happy and they're still going to complain. And these people are going to take a toll on you. This situation is so stressful, clearly, because it's your business. You've done everything to make it right. Someone's still not happy and you take it very personally. And that's another thing you have to work through is your own personal issues as well, because some things you can't just take personally, okay? Some things are solely on the other person, and no matter what you did, you try to make it right, but the other person's still not happy. That's their problem at that point. You've done everything, you've checked all the boxes, and sometimes you have to realize what you're dealing with. You have to deal with your own emotions and try to separate that from your business. So not only is it a professional growth, it's also a personal journey as well. So, yeah, it can be challenging on your mental health, your stress levels, and obviously the amount of work that you have to put in. So, usually that's why people quit too early and their business never becomes successful, because they just think, I don't have what it takes and this was not a good idea. Let me just end everything now. Let me go back to my job because at least if I have a regular job, I'll still be getting paid. So, I'm going to give you some recommendations and things that I have found to be true with my own personal experience and also getting other experiences. Okay, so the first thing I recommend is to not go all into your new business. If you have a 9 to 5 job, do both. Start your business and do your 9 to 5 job. Do your business every single day for a few hours. If it's in the morning, in the evening, on your breaks, whenever you have the time, do it every single day and build it up while you're working your 9 to 5 job. And eventually you're going to get to the point where one takes over the other, or you realize, like, oh, I have a lot of customers in my business and I don't really have the time with my 9 to 5 job to attend to everyone or do the things that I need to do. And the demand is there. So at that point, then you can quit your 9 to 5 job, or obviously if the income takes over your 9 to 5 job income, but you want to go about it the right way. I think some people like just jump in too soon, and it's like such a shock, especially because in your business, like you're not guaranteed to make money. If you don't do the work and get the clients, you're not going to make money. And it's a gradual growth, okay? So don't jump all in, quit everything else just to focus on this. It's going to feel like you did something that was irrational, and it just does not feel real. So keep your 9 to 5 job. It's going to be a lot of work. Create a business on the side. Start building up clientele. Start building up a way you can get out of the 9 to 5 job into your business full time. But I'm telling you now, it's a lot because you're going to be working your regular 9 to 5 and also something on the side. So be prepared for the amount of work it takes, but I find this to be easier and less challenging mentally because you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, which would be your business. Because a lot of times, your first business is not going to be your last business, and it's not going to be the business that makes you super successful. Like I said earlier, you have so much to learn being a business owner, stuff that you've never even knew that you needed to know, or stuff you didn't even know was a thing. And you're not going to get it right the first try, okay? So you start small and you build your way up. And once you start small and you start learning the things you need to learn as a business owner, then you're going to get another idea, another business idea, where you think this way could work better or this would suit you better. And sometimes you just transition, you either upgrade your business or sometimes you might transition to something completely different based off the knowledge you learned in your first business. Okay. So do not go all in on your first business. You have so much to learn that you could be the smartest person in the world, but you still don't know marketing or advertising or content or whatever. You could be book smart, but there's so much more to learn. And same with like if you're on the opposite, say you're like super creative and super talented, but then again, you don't know the books for the business, you're gonna have to learn that. So it's just a process, okay? Regardless of what side you're on, it's going to be a learning process, and you're going to get more ideas, bigger ideas, and you're going to know how to manage the ideas that you do get based off what you learned when you started small. So never jump in to a huge business, quit your job, and invest so much money. That's where you hear the stories of people failing, going bankrupt, and just like being in a mess. You do not want to do that. If that works, it's probably a really, really small percent of the population. Okay. Probably like 1% because that rarely works just because you do not have the knowledge. Okay. It's like hitting the lottery. It's only a small percent of people that's going to hit the lottery. And a lot of times they ended up going broke after because they don't have the knowledge or the skill to know what to do with the money and to keep it. Okay. So start small. Don't quit your 9 to 5 job. Let your side business or your side hustle or your business you're creating, whatever it may be, let that outgrow the other one that you're trying to get out of. Make an exit plan, but you don't want to act out of emotion or be irrational anyway because it could just really skew your perspective of owning a business, and then maybe you're not even going to want to do it anymore if it goes bad. So then you're just going to give up, and then you're going to be in this miserable job for the rest of your life. Don't do too much too fast. Learn the things that you have to learn. Read a bunch of books, watch YouTube videos, and but obviously like experience is what teaches you the most. I like to read books. I get a lot of knowledge from books, but experience is obviously the best learning. So yeah, just take on what you can handle and do it every single day until you get there. And you will get there because if you do something every single day, you're going to get to where you want to be. It's like if you go to the gym. Say if you're like super overweight and you want to start going to the gym. If you go one day, you're not going to see results. If you go 1 year, you might start seeing results or you might have a total transformation, but you're going to be way smaller than what you were to start out in way better shape than what you were to start out. Okay. So little by little, and you will see results over time. And that's with anything. If you put your energy and your time into whatever you want to build, if it's a business or anything you want in your life, the results are going to pay off. You just have to be consistent. That is honestly the key. And I know like people have been saying that your entire life, consistency is key, but it's honestly true. And if you're not consistent and you try to go in too fast, you're going to get bad results and it's just going to like completely mess up your whole perception and you're going to have a lot of self-doubt and negative beliefs about yourself and it's just not true. You just went in way too hard and yeah, you didn't learn the things that you need to learn first. So, basically, those are my tips and that is my reality versus what you may see online. Don't believe a lot of the stuff you see online. As I'm sitting here telling you to believe me, do your own research, okay? If something sounds too good to be true, just don't even believe it. Don't even like, you don't need to send negative thoughts about it or like sit there and get mad about it. Just like whatever, scroll past it. Don't even like take it into your mind. The stuff you see on social media is just so not real, and you cannot compare your life, your business, your personal life, whatever, to what you see on there. Okay. Also, I will link my Patreon down below, but I have a bunch of tools for business owners. If you are currently a business owner or plan to start a business, you might want to check it out because I do have some good stuff on there, and I'm just adding more clearly. I'm going to be adding some more over time. Also, if you do subscribe to my Patreon, you can message me and ask me any questions, personal or professional, whatever. I will answer you there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had for this video. I hope you guys took something out of it, and I'll see you guys next time.